The coin shown in your images is a 1947 Canadian 1-cent coin featuring King George VI on the obverse, front, and the iconic two maple leaves on a single twig on the reverse, back. This coin represents not only a small denomination in Canadian currency, but also a fascinating piece of Canadian history from the post-World War II era, a time when the nation was transitioning from wartime industry to peacetime growth and solidifying its own independent identity within the Commonwealth. The year 1947 is especially notable in Canadian numismatics because of the historical circumstances surrounding the removal of India from the British Empire, which caused a delay and subsequent modification in coin designs that year. The coin was struck by the Royal Canadian Mint in Ottawa, with a total mintage of approximately 74 million pieces. It is composed primarily of bronze, 98% copper, 0.5% tin, and 1.5% zinc, weighing 3.24 grams and measuring 19.05 millimeters in diameter with a plain, smooth edge. On the obverse side, the coin bears the left-facing portrait of King George VI, designed by British engraver Thomas Humphrey Paget. The Latin inscription surrounding the bust reads, Georgiv 6d, G, Rex Etind, IMP, which translates to George VI, by the grace of God, King and Emperor of India. This title, however, became outdated in 1947 after India gained independence from Britain. As a result, Canadian coinage was required to update the monarch's titles, but the Royal Canadian Mint continued to use dies bearing the IND, IMP, Emperor of India legend into early 1948, creating several varieties of the 1947 coins. Some later versions were struck with a small maple leaf symbol placed beside the date, 1947, signifying they were minted in 1948 using leftover dies. Your coin does not show the maple leaf beside the date, indicating it is an original 1947 issue produced before the independence adjustment. The reverse design, created by G. Kruger Gray, features two stylized maple leaves on a single twig, symbolizing both the unity and natural beauty of Canada. The word Canada is inscribed below the leaves, with the denomination 1 cent above and the date 1947 split on either side of the twig. The small initials KG to the right of the leaves represent the artist Kruger Gray. This reverse design was first introduced in 1937 during George VI's reign and became one of the most enduring symbols of Canadian coinage, remaining on the penny until the late 1950s. From a historical perspective, the 1947 Canadian penny captures a moment of transformation in Canada's post-war history. Canada had emerged from World War II as a strong and increasingly autonomous member of the British Commonwealth. The nation's economy was growing, its industries expanding, and its population beginning to shift into a more modern and urban society. The year 1947 also saw Canada take significant steps toward asserting its independence from British political influence, including the introduction of Canadian citizenship separate from British subject status. The coin's inscription with the outdated imperial title, IND, IMP, stands as a tangible reminder of that transitional moment between empire and national sovereignty. In terms of minting varieties, the 1947 Canadian cent has two major types. 1. 1947 no maple leaf, struck during 1947 before the title change. 2. 1947 maple leaf, struck in early 1948 using the old dies, but with a small maple leaf added beside the date to indicate the transitional issue. The plain 1947 version, like yours, is the more standard issue but still historically significant. There are also subtle die variations among collectors, such as differences in the number spacing, the shape of the 7, or the strength of the strike. Condition plays a huge role in determining value. Heavily circulated examples are typically worth around 10 cents to 25 cents USD, while coins in extremely fine XF condition may reach $1 to $2 USD. Uncirculated or mint state examples can fetch $5 to $20 USD or more, especially if they retain strong luster and minimal wear. Rare varieties or mint errors such as double die or off-center strikes can be worth substantially more to specialists. The obverse design by Paget reflects the dignified and calm representation of King George VI, who ruled from 1936 until his death in 1952. He was a symbol of stability during and after the war years, and his image on the coin links this small bronze piece to the global history of the British Commonwealth. By 1947, Canadian coins bearing his portrait were produced in large numbers, but each remains a small piece of that historical narrative. Numismatically, the 1947 Canadian cent is cherished not for its rarity, but for its historical symbolism. It bridges two eras, one of imperial association and another of growing Canadian autonomy. When held today, it feels like a compact, tangible relic from a time when the world was rebuilding and Canada was stepping forward on the global stage with renewed national confidence. Its warm copper tone, classic maple leaf motif, and connection to the post-war period give it a nostalgic and patriotic appeal for collectors. In summary, your 1947 Canadian 1-cent coin featuring King George VI is a beautifully historic artifact of mid-20th century Canada. It embodies the legacy of a country emerging into its modern identity while still reflecting its ties to Britain. The coin's design, composition, and inscriptions together tell a story of change, continuity, and national pride. Although modest in face value, it carries with it a rich tapestry of meaning, economic, political, and artistic, that makes it an enduring favorite among Canadian coin collectors and historians alike.